Greetings everyone, my name is Rob Jennings and I'm a business analyst with the Australian Antarctic Program Partnership. Today I'm presenting Digital Antarctica, the partnership's initiative to bring the FAIR principles to the Australian Antarctic data scene. But first, some very brief background. In 2016, the Australian Government commissioned a review into the Australian Antarctic Science Program. And the following year, that review found that with the wide array of organisations working in Australian Antarctic science, the structure as a whole lacked coherence, not only to people working within that structure, but also to anyone looking at the Antarctic science from outside that structure. The review made a number of recommendations, one of which led to a new organisation, the Australian Antarctic Program Partnership. As its name suggests, this is a partnership of a number of existing organisations, research and government, focusing on Australian Antarctic research. One of the initiatives of that partnership is Digital Antarctica, which came from the review's recommendation to define a model of Antarctic data. And that's what Digital Antarctica is, a model of Australian Antarctic data seen through the wider lens of the Australian Antarctic Program Partnership. And that lens is important because each organisation in the partnership has its own function, whether it's geoscience, meteorology, education, or any other purpose. And so each organisation collects, stores, and serves out data primarily to meet that function. So while each organisation is striving towards FAIR principles, their focus is to do that in a way that serves the primary function of the organisation. Digital Antarctica, though, is coming at FAIR from the point of view of the whole partnership. So its focus is making Australian Antarctic data fair, and in particular to improve the interoperability of the partnership collections as a whole. Here's a very basic image to illustrate how we're approaching this. Down the bottom, we have some data centres who all serve out different data. And across the top, we have a couple of different functions that all want to access that data. A data portal and, say, our researcher's analytical tool trying to pull some data in, but it could be anything really. And they're all connected by services. Now, Digital Antarctica is not looking to build a portal or any other kind of end user tools that people might use to access data. Likewise, we're not going to be dictating to the data centers how they should be storing their data or any other processes. What we are doing, though, is defining and designing all of the services needed to share this data. The heart of Digital Antarctica is standardized services. We are identifying exactly what services are needed for both data and metadata to create a fully service-driven solution. For example, there would be services for searching metadata, for delivering metadata, as well as a number of services for retrieving data. All of our partners currently use services, and many of these services are already using pre-established standards. But again, they use them for serving their data to their specific audiences. But what it does mean is we're not starting from scratch here. The Digital Antarctica initiative is looking at all of those existing services that distribute data in all categories. When I say categories, I'm talking about technical data types, for example, database or a video file or an image series, as well as fields of research, so biological or meteorological. We're looking at what categories of data each of our partners deals with, and we're looking at the intersections of those categories. We're using the partnership to agree, as a whole, on what service standards we can implement that can be applied to those intersections to best serve and retrieve data. And this in particular will help with interoperability. In terms of fairness, I think interoperability is one of the areas we can really make a difference with Australian Antarctic data. By using services built to these standards, we can ensure that data pulled from one organisation will be compatible with similar data pulled from another. One of the key elements in the way we work is our Digital Antarctica Reference Group. DARG, as we call it, has been instrumental in getting to where we are now. Currently, its membership is primarily made up of representatives from the data centres of each partnership organisation. These are the people that are, in the case of the smaller organisations, intimately familiar with the data holdings, or for the larger ones, familiar with the processes around the data. In all cases, it gives us a direct line into what each organisation is doing, and it ensures that each organisation is fully involved and a part of the process, not just a customer or a recipient. DARG also provides a forum for those data managers to discuss their practices with each other. We're building a genuine community of Antarctic data practitioners here who are providing a collective expertise to each other as well as to Digital Antarctica. Now, beyond mentioning services, I haven't talked about technology at all as part of this presentation, and that's because the tech is secondary to what we're doing. We are experimenting with some interesting things in the tech space, but the important goal that we are striving for is agreed standards. The tech used to achieve those standards is, in a sense, secondary. It will come, but as I said, some of it may already be in place at many of the data centers. What we need to succeed isn't shiny and new technology. It's shiny and new agreement, collaboration, and, to use a word from the original review, cohesion. Thank you.